When shooting video, one of your main challenges, often separating amateurish and pro-looking video, is camera shake. Especially with small light mirrorless cameras, getting stable shots is hard. That's why we often shooting video rely on gimbals, steadicams, tripods and sliders. Today we are going to talk about sliders, or more exactly the Zeapon Micro 2 slider. I'm Madsen and welcome to my channel. I've been through various sliders over the last years, and the two biggest issues you might run into is the size and getting consistent smooth speeds. If the slider is too long, you most often leave it at home. If the motion is not smooth, you need to do several retakes to get the shots you're after, or use slow motion in post to get some usable results. So let's find out if the Micro 2 slider is any good. But first off, we are going to look at the build and the features. Let's get one thing clear. Zeapon did send me this slider to test, but I was actually encouraged to give my honest opinion, and as always I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about this product. I'm in no way paid to do this review. So with that out of the way, let's look at the specs. This slider is mostly made from aluminium alloy and some small plastic covers, and feels quite robust. It weighs in at 1.1 kilo and is rated to handle 5 kilo payload easily, but you can max it out up to 8 kilo. This thing is small, measuring only 33 centimeters. It easily fits in a small backpack as shown here, but the way it's constructed gives you 54 centimeters of sliding length. I find that this range is more than sufficient in most scenarios, as you normally just use a small portion of the length in post. There are other sliders out there with similar construction, but the one thing this has going on for it is that you can get the same sliding length also when you're not on a tripod. That's because the center part is connected to the surface. But if you have anything larger than a phone or a small compact camera, it's going to tip over in this configuration. That's why I recommend getting the bundle with the Easy Lock 2, giving the slider even more flexibility and also speeds up connecting to a tripod. But the length is not the only selling point to this slider. As I was talking about earlier, getting consistent smooth sliding speeds is another of this slider's strong point. The fiber-reinforced rubber belts connecting to the 36 bearings fluid damping system works like a dream. I was, before receiving this product, frankly a bit suspicious how good this system was, but it's actually really easy to get consistent smooth motion. You don't need to focus hard on having the same force applied. It just gives a really good feedback to your hand when sliding. I have used other flywheel-based sliders before, like the iFootage Shark slider, and getting really slow consistent speeds was by no means as easy as with this thing. I often needed to take multiple retakes and use slow motion in some cases with a flywheel-based slider. If I don't miss my framing with the Micro 2 slider, I find myself not needing more than one take with this slider. It's really consistent. You can also just tilt the slider and it can do the sliding for you, like here. It still gets a really consistent speed. The more you tilt the camera, the greater the speed of the motion. Not to forget, this slider works just as fine in horizontal position, in an angle, or straight vertically. The construction of the slider also lets you do push-in or push-out shots with a wider angle than with fixed sliders, as the construction follows your movement. This slider is also pretty silent. There are locks on both sides, making it easy to carry and transport the slider. In the Micro 2 box, you get the slider itself, in addition to the user manual, a hex key, 1/4 inch to 3/8 inch adapter, and a handy carriage or storage bag. The Easy Lock 2 folds up to a pretty small size, and I always keep mine on. You just unfold the legs and you get a much larger footprint, keeping it from tipping over. With the Easy Lock 2, you also get a small ball head. Decent quality, but I only recommend this small ball head for smaller cameras. I would say maximum like an X-T3, like shown here. Just use your tripod video head or ball head if you have a larger camera. The slider is in my eyes a steal at only $209 US. With the Easy Lock 2, there are bundles at only $269 US, and I highly recommend getting this combo. The only reason not to get the Easy Lock 2 is if your slider is going to live on your tripod in a studio. The Easy Lock gives you the opportunity to get really low to the ground shots, or on the table for instance. This is a great travel light combo. The Easy Lock itself connects to the slider by matching up these 2 points and tightening the center screw. There is also a built-in quick release plate in the Easy Lock 2. Just slide it in and tighten the screw. I have found no problems with flexing on this slider, as you can, especially with longer sliders. But in my experience, it mostly comes down to the tripod and bowl connection. To prevent dust and other particles getting into the fluid motion mechanism, there is a dust scraper lessening the chance of this happening. So, before summing up my pros and cons, let's have 2 minutes of examples only using this slider. All shots are at a real playback speed, no slow motion here to mask imperfections. So, what is my conclusion on the Micro 2 slider and EasyLock 2? First, the cons. The EasyLock 2 rubber feet are grippy, but it can slide if on a really slippery surface. But you can easily prevent this by holding a finger on one of the legs. You need to apply some force to slide this slider because of the dampening system. Not a big con, but I would like to mention it. When the EasyLock 2 legs are folded, you need to pull out the legs on one side to slide in the quick release plate. Worth to mention. The quick release plate is not compatible with other standards. You cannot release the fluid dampening system for free movement, but in all honesty, I don't see why you even want to do that. The EasyLock 2 feet are not adjustable, so using the slider on really uneven surfaces can be tricky. Those are actually the only slight negative points I can think of. Then to the pros. The slider is really compact and travel friendly. It has a large weight capacity, the slider motion is ultra smooth and a breeze to operate. I think the Micro 2 and EasyLock 2 is relatively inexpensive. It can really step up your video production for only $269. The build quality seems great and I have had no issues in the 2 months I've used this slider. So to sum it all up, I'll definitely recommend this slider and I will be keeping it in my video kit for travel and quick setup product shots. I'll place some links in the video description if you would like to check out the latest prices. Thanks for stopping by and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Give it a like and feel free to comment if you have any questions. Cheers guys!